We all recall how poorly the Bucks began the season at 2-8, and everyone was panicking because Giannis had previously suggested that he would leave if winning wasn't in sight. However, since then, they've achieved the third-best record in the NBA, trailing only OKC and Cleveland, the top seeds who claimed the NBA Cup. So what led to this improvement? Here's a hint. It's not solely Giannis and Dame, which is quite surprising. You need to analyze their season in segments. In the first 10 games, they were 2-8 with a 19th-ranked offense. In the next segment of 10 games, they improved to 9-1, ranking as the 5th best offense. However, in the following 10, they went 5-5, and their offense fell to 20th. In the latest quarter of the season, they ended up 9-4, placing 9th in the NBA. The offense fluctuates, but the defense remains solid, consistently ranking in or near the top 10. This defensive strength has defined the team's identity, which is unexpected given the assumption that Dame plus Giannis equals scoring. This is why the trade is critical. The team knows how to defend but struggles offensively, especially against the strongest opponents. The Bucks are winless against the Cavs, Celtics, and Knicks, the 3 contenders they're trailing in the East and need to address their shortcomings. At times, they look excellent, like during their recent 5-game winning streak, sharing the ball effectively with Dame's outside shooting complementing Giannis' inside presence. Yet, they often revert to isolation-heavy, 1990s-style basketball, which is easily defendable. Thus, the solution is clear. If they can resolve this issue, we might see Giannis back in the finals and Dame finally secure a championship. ESPN reports that they are open to trading Chris Middleton, Pat Connaughton, and Bobby Portis, which raises concerns since their trade value isn't high. The real surprise this season has been the performance of the young players. The Bucks bench has become the 2nd best in the NBA, following a rough start, quite a turnaround considering they were perceived as lacking depth. Young talents, such as a Jay Green, 25, Andre Jackson Jr., 23, Ryan Rollins, 22, and Gary Trent Jr., 26, despite being slightly older, have excelled. Doc Rivers is known for not utilizing younger players, yet these youngsters have been performing so impressively that they're pushing veterans out of the rotation. The pressing question now is whether they would be willing to trade one of these young prospects. Clearly, the issue lies with Middleton, who has struggled since their championship run due to dual ankle surgeries during the offseason. When he returned this year, it disrupted Dame's flow as he was trying to accommodate Chris rather than play his natural aggressive style, reflecting the struggles of last year. Subsequently, Doc decided to shift Middleton to the bench. Currently, Dame and Giannis form the top scoring duo in the league, with Giannis posting MVP-caliber numbers. However, if they aim to contend for a title, they require a third player capable of scoring around 18 points to support Dame and Giannis while also providing defense. So, who could potentially fill that role? We have a collection of credible rumors and notable names, with John Gambadoro from Arizona Sports mentioning that the Bucks are interested in Jimmy Butler, which prompts Kevin O'Connor to respond immediately. Jimmy's representatives advised Milwaukee to steer clear, but then Sam Amick of The Athletics claims he spoke to 2 sources stating that Jimmy hasn't informed Milwaukee of anything. So, would they be reckless enough to pursue Jimmy Butler when they say they are desperate? Are they truly that desperate? Well, Jimmy has outperformed them in recent playoff encounters. Remember that unforgettable last-second shot in the 2022 playoffs where he averaged 38 points per game in the series? ESPN says they are in dire need, so perhaps they want him on their roster. A crucial aspect of all this will be positioning below the second apron. All the Bucks need to do is trade Pat Connaughton and a 20,231 second-round pick to the Pistons, which would bring them under the second apron and allow Milwaukee to include multiple players in a deal such as Jimmy Butler for Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis, and Rhett Jackson Jr., Ryan Rollins, and their first-round pick. Miami gains 2 promising young players and a valuable first-round pick, which aligns perfectly with the Heat's desires. No lie, I believe the Bucks could execute this trade as soon as tomorrow if they truly wish to. The only downside is Jimmy's age and having only 2 months to gel with Dame and Giannis before the playoffs. Speculation also surrounded Bradley Beal, but that was quickly dismissed. In contrast, insider Jake Fisher noted that Milwaukee is exploring ways to enhance their wing position, showing interest in the idea of Brandon Ingram back in December. Brandon Ingram has recently suffered an injury, making it less probable, But the fourth all-star candidate is Zach LaVine. Zach is enjoying one of his most efficient seasons to date. If the Bucks have solidified their defense, why not pursue an all-star scorer? LaVine has expressed a desire to remain in Chicago, yet the Bulls are still exploring trade options. Do the Bucks possess enough assets to facilitate this? Once the second apron issue is resolved, they would likely need to exchange nearly all their young talent and their 2031 first-round draft choice, which would drastically deplete their roster depth, raising doubts about its worth. Alternatively, concerning more affordable options, Jake Pfizer reports that the Milwaukee Bucks are reaching out across the league to seek a lob threat to aid Brook Lopez. What does this entail? Brook struggles to defend on the perimeter. Only Giannis can handle it within their big men. If Doc requires athleticism, he turns to Giannis. So, could they acquire a big man to support Giannis? One lesser-known candidate is Larry Nance Jr., who is athletic, provides defense, and shows potential for an outside shot. The Hawks have relegated him to the bench, making it feasible to acquire Larry Nance for Bobby Portis and the 2031 second-round pick. Additionally, Nance will be sidelined until February. Why would the Hawks not want a valuable second for a player who isn't even in action? However, a more impactful and higher-priced acquisition would be Robert Williams. Time Lord is the most sought-after center in the NBA trade arena. He brings rim protection, rebounding, and the ability to defend in space while catching lobs, although his shooting and injury concerns remain limitations. The Bucks are in a tight spot. One report suggested they might be more willing to go below the second apron and even consider trading Chris Middleton. Keep an eye on Jeremy Grant and Robert Williams, as potential targets. So what might that entail? Perhaps they acquire him in exchange for Steven Adams and Andre Jackson Jr. Plus 2 second-round picks to the Blazers. The Rockets could get Bobby Portis, while Portland would gain a younger player in 2 seconds. The Bucks could then trade Bobby to Houston for access to their picks. The Rockets might do this since their front court, behind Alperen Sengun and Jabari Smith, mainly consists of an aging Jeff Green, the injured Jabari Smith, and Jock Landale. Other teams will pursue Robert Williams, but Milwaukee is hesitant to part with their 2031 first-round pick. However, if ESPN claims Milwaukee is desperate like the Suns, it could lead to something significant. The Bucks are performing better than anticipated this year, but they still need one more asset to reach the next level. Speaking of trades, D'Angelo Russell is no longer with the Lakers, but did you notice how excited LeBron was to guard D'Angelo Russell the other night? What's going on there? It seems we now understand why LeBron made the trade.